Hey guys, what's good, and welcome back to my channel for another yarn haul. It has been quite a few weeks since I've put out one of these kind of videos, but I've had a ton of orders coming in recently and I've had to pick up a bunch of new yarn. So I figured I'd sit down and show you guys what I'm picking up recently and even some upcoming projects and DIYs that I have coming around the corner. So let's get into it. All right, so I don't know if you guys can even tell by the mess that's going on here on my bed, but I have quite a handful of new things that I have to get into. It's kind of insane, but I love buying yarn, so I'm just kind of feeding my addiction right now. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the first package that I picked up. I believe this was off the website called lovecrafts.com. But this so far I think is the favorite yarn that I've picked up in a while. Oh, just I can already see the colors and I'm just so smitten with this colorway. All right, so to begin, I have these two gorgeous yarns and they are both from Malabrico Yarn. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've recently been super obsessed with everything that Malabrico makes, especially their sock yarn and their line that's also called Meshita, something like that. But let me just show you guys. As I've mentioned in a few of my most recent live streams here on YouTube and on Twitch, I'm so excited to actually get to pick up new yarn and get to work on projects for other people. So this first yarn that I picked up by Malabrico Yarns is in their sock yarn, and the colorway is in the name Marte or Marte, something like that. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. But if you guys can recognize this beautiful colorway that comes in like an orange and green shades, it's the same yarn that I used in the video where I pattern tested that aerial top. So I get to work up another one of these beautiful aerial tops, the ones that I cannot get enough of. And if you guys go on my Instagram, I'm sure you guys have seen the photos everywhere. I can't stop reposting them, but the top fits so beautifully and it's so flattering and sexy. And this colorway I just had to pick up when I saw it on their website. I knew that this would also be another beautiful colorway to make for the aerial top. So if you guys can get a nice close-up view here. I believe the name of this colorway is Sabiduria. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right either, but I'll show it here. And I know you guys have heard me rant and rave about this beautiful orange colorway that I used before, but after I saw this color on the website, I think I actually might like this colorway more. I mean, just take a look at this, guys. You've got beautiful shades of like magenta and purple and lilac. It's insane, it's stunning. So if you guys couldn't tell already, I have my work cut out for me. Those aerial tops are not quick to make. They are very time consuming, and especially considering that both of these yarns are fingering weight, which means that they're level 1 yarn. If I work on it every day, all day, I could probably get it done in about 3 to 4 days, but I've got 2 of these to make, so my work is cut out for me. All right, so for this next yarn, as you can see, I only have this one little ball left over, but I actually have to go back to Joann's this week and pick up about 2 or 3 more. Before I start to ramble, this yarn is Lion Brand's Nubu yarn, and I believe this is made out of 100% lyocell. But this is the yarn that I've been using to make all of my Tulum bikinis. The reason why that ball is so small is because I already have the bottoms whipped up. And again, everything on my website is customizable. So if you send me your measurements, your sizing, how you want it made to your body, I can do that for you. So these bottoms I have whipped up. These I believe are for a size extra small to a size small. So to pick up where I've left off, I'm now working on the 2 cups and I'm about halfway done with this first cup, and I still have to go ahead and make the rest. But anyways, I've mentioned this yarn 100 times by now on my channel. I really do love this yarn. It's very soft. It feels like butter or cashmere or even kind of like silky. It's very slippery and smooth. So my only issue with this yarn is that it ends up splitting a lot when I'm working with it because the hook size is so small. Again, this yarn is like a sport weight yarn or like a level 2 yarn. So it's really close to fingering weight. It's not quite DK weight. I believe I'm working with a 3.0 millimeter hook. So if you can imagine, the work is very, very tiny. But if you can handle the yarn splitting every couple of stitches and you're able to work around that, then I highly suggest picking up this yarn. All right, I need to start speeding things up here. But the next yarn that I picked up is some good old basic red heart yarn, but this is in their Super Savor Cafe Latte shade. And I've talked about this again before on previous yarn hauls, but this yarn is also going to be used for another custom order that was placed on my backlist crop top listing. I'm sure that a ton of my viewers have already heard about the Red Heart yarn, but in case you are new to this yarn, the Red Heart Super Saver yarn is listed as a weight 4 or worsted weight type of yarn. It's on the thicker side, it's not quite a chunky yarn. And when I'm making my backless strappy crop tops, this Mocha shade is by far my favorite yarn to work with. To be completely honest with you guys, in my opinion, not every single shade in the Super Saver line is very soft and comfortable to work with. In the past, when I've picked up shades from the Super Saver line, like the red or the orange, even like a teal or a lime green, those yarns tend to be very rough and scratchy and not too comfortable to wear. But I will say, if you're gonna go for more neutral shades like their white, their black, any of their cream, tan colors, and even this Mocha shade, it is very soft and squishy and comfortable to wear. And not to mention, Red Heart Super Saver is very, very affordable for all you beginner crocheters. So if you're looking to pick up a lot of yarn or in bulk, I would definitely suggest the Red Heart Super Saver line for a reliable and affordable type of yarn. But I would say to stick more towards your neutral shades and not get too crazy with their bright, vibrant colors. Ooh, I have not opened up this bag yet. Let's just go ahead and open up this bag of goodies. Again, I believe this other order was also from lovecrafts.com. Alright, well, here are the 3 different shades that I picked up online. The brand of this yarn is called Paint Box Yarns. I'm sure you guys have seen this all over the internet, but this will be my first time ever seeing or using the Paint Box Yarns. So the 3 shades that I have picked up here are in this tea rose shade. It's like a light lavender color. This next shade is in Melon Sorbet. When I saw this shade online, it looked a lot more like a pinky orange and not so much like this creamsicle kind of color. So I'm gonna have to see if I can make this work with the project that I have in mind. Oh man, and this last shade is in the color Rose Red. I'm not too sure how I feel about this shade selection, but the yarn itself feels very beautiful. Let me just get into the logistics real fast. This is the Paint Box Yarns in their Cotton DK line, which means that this is listed as a weight 3 or DK yarn. And this yarn is also made out of 100% cotton. And it definitely has that cotton-like feel. It feels very different from like acrylic yarn, but it's actually very comfortable and soft. So I think that I will be able to execute the project that I have in mind for this yarn. But hopefully you guys can see the thickness of this yarn. It's very, very thin. They say it's classified as a DK weight yarn, but honestly, in my opinion, I would call this more like a level 2 or sport weight yarn. It's very, very thin. Each of these skeins are 50 grams, 1.7 ounces, or roughly 137 yards long. Well, anyways, the project that I had in mind to make with these yarns is actually that very famous Pinterest halter dress. I'll include a photo or a clip of it right here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it's so funny. I've had so many followers on Instagram DM me and ask me to recreate that famous striped dress. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. But I've had so many of you guys send me screenshots of different types of striped dresses that you want me to make. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about making that yet, if it's going to be a DIY or more of a crochet with me. But after I had so many of you guys requesting me to make this dress, that I would give it a go and kind of give it my own flair and hope that it turns out okay. I don't know, do you guys genuinely like how these 3 shades look together? Or do you think that I should pick up different shades? The purple's okay, but I'm having a hard time with this mustardy colored orange yellow. And then I got this bright fire hydrant lipstick red. I don't know. You guys, please let me know down in the comment section if you think that these colors are okay. I don't want it to come out looking funky. I'm kind of nervous now. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you guys have used Paint Box Yarns before, if it's reliable for you, if you like it. I do like that it is 100% cotton. I've been trying to branch out and use different kinds of yarn besides just my usual acrylic. And you guys have seen that I've been getting into using wool yarns more often. Those Malabrigo yarns from earlier are 100% superwash merino wool. So, you know, I'm getting wild with it, guys. I'm really branching out here. Okay. Now, for all my diehards out there, I'm sure you recognize this yarn. And I'm sure you're sick of seeing it and I'm sorry, I don't care, but I love it. But don't worry guys, this yarn is not for me. The entire reason why I ended up buying this famous yarn again is because I had another order placed by Grace. Hello Grace, I love you. I know you're watching, you always tune in. Thank you for being such a homie, I love you. And thank you for placing an order. But anyways, this is the universal yarn in their line called Bamboo Bloom. And this is in the shade Sea Breeze. And this yarn is super famous here on my channel because it's very multi-textured. On one hand, you have this very thick wool-like texture yarn over here. This section here is very airy and cloud-like and soft and puffy. And then on the other hand, I have other sections of this yarn that are like sport weight yarn or even very close to fingering weight yarn. It's very thin, but I first used this yarn way back in an old crochet with me where I made that very beautiful off-shouldered blue crop top. At first, I didn't really have a pattern written down ahead of time. I kind of just started winging it, and I ended up with such a beautiful and one-of-a-kind off-the-shoulder crop top. And I know that you guys have seen me wear it 100 times on my channel, but when I tell you guys that it is my most favorite thing that I think I have ever created on my own, I'm not lying to you. I've worn that top so many times. I've worn it to death, but oh my gosh, guys, just like look at this yarn. Sorry, you've got me in the background distracting you from this gorgeous yarn. But yes, thank you again, Grace, for placing an order with me. I'm so excited to get to work this project for you. All right, and to wrap up this super long yarn haul, the very last yarn in this haul that I wanted to show you guys is this beautiful yarn by Big Twist, but they actually changed their name on this yarn to Lil Twist. What does that sound like, a rapper to me? It's a little bit difficult to showcase this yarn on camera because this bright white is getting washed out on camera. But I believe that this is originally the Big Twist yarn because obviously it has their logo right here. I had actually never heard or seen this yarn before, but thankfully this yarn actually caught my eye on the shelf. I think it's relatively new, but what I love about this yarn, and I'm gonna have to get close to show you guys. I'm not sure if my camera is going to be able to pick up this yarn. No, it is not glitter, but mixed in with this regular acrylic yarn, it's kind of like this very pearly, sheeny type of yarn. Anyways, the details on Lil Twist yarn is that it's classified as a medium 4 or worsted weight yarn and a suggested hook size of 5.5 mil. Oh, interestingly enough, it is 91% acrylic and 9% viscose. I was looking for a very basic but beautiful and comfortable type of yarn that I could make an everyday lightweight cardigan out of. Even though we're dead into the middle of this super hot summer that we're having, I still like having crochet items that I can use as a cover up, that I can kind of just chuck onto my shoulders to add onto my outfit. That way I'm not exposing too much skin. And in order for this everyday cardigan to go with pretty much everything that I have in my closet, I knew that it was gonna have to be more on a white, cream, or ivory type of shade. Very soon I'm going to be putting together a video based around my very favorite types of yarn and kind of where I shop online to get my yarns and my favorite stores. So of course the Big Twist yarn is going to be included into that video. But if you guys know me, you know that the Big Twist line is kind of like a staple go-to yarn for me. For years and years, my go-to yarns have always been the Lion Brand yarn or the Red Heart yarn. But just this past year, I ended up discovering the Big Twist yarn at Joann's. I don't know how long they've been around, but in my opinion, the Big Twist yarn is kind of like Red Heart Super Saver, but even better. The quality and the texture of this yarn is out of this world. You know how I mentioned earlier that some of the Red Heart yarns are kind of scruffy and rough and the whole line is not very consistent? Every single shade that I have used from the Big Twist line so far is very consistent. And I would definitely recommend using any of these yarns for outfits or clothing that you would wear or that you'd want to touch your skin. All right, well that pretty much wraps up all the new yarns that I have picked up recently. I hope you guys enjoyed this new yarn haul and you guys were able to kind of catch up a little bit with me and just kind of see what I'm up to recently. And I'll be seeing you guys all soon. Bye.